I'm MikaFabs.
And I'm Excoundrel.
And we are here to set the stage for the Wild Rift Horizon Cup.
As the Wild Rift beta approaches its 1-year release anniversary, the Horizon Cup is now on the horizon.
Say it, I knew it.
Yeah, no, well, there you go. Dad, got to get the dad joke out of the way. The tournament is going to be held at the Suntec Singapore Convention and Exhibition Centre from November 13th to the 21st, where some of the biggest brands and best teams from around the world will compete for $500,000.
It's going to be a whole new era of international esports as 10 teams from around the world will compete to see who's going to take home the prize and lead the way to Wild Rift's first competitive season.
And through a series of qualifying tournaments, each of the 8 regions had their own path towards the Horizon Cup.
The first team to qualify was Kun Gaming, one of the smaller esports orgs in China. They actually operate outside of the major Chinese Wild Rift League, the LPL.
China actually had 2 spots for the Horizon Cup. One team will be fielded from the LPL and one team from outside the LPL. Now, China's qualifier, the 2021 Spark Invitational, featured the 16 best teams from outside the LPL.
And Kun Gaming breezed through the tournament, going 6-0 in the group stage, and then following it up with a 13-2 record in the playoffs. So whether it was skirmishes or team fights, Kun dominated their competition by being decisive and fast, like really fast. Their jungler Huiba led the charge with his Graves, Lee Sin, and Riven Pigs, and you know what that means? Always looking for the nearest enemy to kill, engaging as soon as possible as well. This meant that their opponents had no room to breathe at all. They started falling one after the other, and this paved the way for the first Chinese seed to the Horizon Cup.
And while Kun Gaming was certainly the best of the non-LPL teams in China, the fan-favorite LPL teams of EDG and OMG were reigning supreme in the Chinese scene. Now, despite that, Kun still remains one of the best teams with the ability to take them down. Just last month, they beat EDG 3-0, and they took a very close series versus OMG, just losing out 2-3 overall.
And this is where the magic really is for esports, you know? It's insane to me that smaller orgs can compete at all with teams like OMG and EDG. Can you imagine if your local sports like community team actually took down like the national team in your country? That's what's happening over here.
And that's the beauty of Wild Rift right now. That's the beauty of the nascent stage that we're in when it comes to Wild Rift esports. You can find those diamonds in the rough, and Huiba on Kun is absolutely one of those diamonds. Now, whether it's him carrying Kun or Kun of the complete package, it's a little hard to tell right now, but it doesn't matter because they've made it. Taking the sole Korean seed was a pretty well-known team called KT Rolster. You guys might have heard of them. Now, they were absolutely dominant in Korea, and it's no surprise that one of the biggest esports organizations in the region was the first to pick up a Wild Rift roster.
But hold your horses there, because the very first tournament Korea had was the LCK versus LPL show match. To nobody's surprise, China won both the group stage and the finals, and in spectacular fashion, I might add.
Yeah, but it wasn't all doom and gloom for KT Rolster. They were the only Korean team to actually take down a Chinese team at all during the tournament, and they were able to take a single game off OMG, which might not sound like a lot, but they are one of the strongest teams in China, so there's plenty for KT Rolster to take away from that tournament.
Yeah, and if there was any doubt to their strength, I mean, they killed all of those in their next showing, because at the WCK, they didn't lose a single game. 13 wins and 0 losses. Lucky number 13 for these guys.
Absolutely stomped their region and deserved their place at the Horizon Cup. They only have 1 seed Korea, but I think they've used it pretty wisely.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that's actually an understatement, because to have that kind of dominance in Korea, of all places, of all regions, that just makes them so much more threatening.
Now, where KT really shines is their objective control. They absolutely dominate the game through vision and control of those neutral objectives, driving that global gold forward. Now, they can't do that without the help of their teamfighting skills, driven by their mid laner and their Baron laner in the form of Isaac and Rattel. Isaac is a very skilled mid laner. He can play lots of different styles, including a roaming Twisted Fate style, a very standard control mage in the form of the Orianas, or, unlike other Korean mids, picking up assassins like Yasuo, which is not something that Korea was used to seeing. And Rattel, whilst he favors fighters, his mechanical outplays made for highlight after highlight.
Well, you know, Excoundrel, I love a good Baron lane show match. I love a good mid lane show match. But if Korea is already impressed with a wild Yasuo pick, Southeast Asia has a few surprises for you guys. But KT Rolster has the pride of Korean esports on their shoulders, so the question is, will they be able to conquer the world with their masterful macro?
How do you guys think KT Rolster and Kun will fare? Let us know in the comments below and circle back for more on the teams and matchups at the Horizon Cup.